Hello, 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 hello. You might think, oh, what's this guy doing here right now? Well, I'm looking at my own visual field while I'm looking in the camera. But the camera is, as far as I know, part of my visual field, which is interpreted as being part of that camera that I see there. But if I just interpret that as being part of my visual field itself, well, you know what kind of complexities you can get like that. The whole feedback loop and the interconnectedness essence of consciousness, life, psychedelics. Yeah, mental self-description package. We perceive sensations. Each thing is itself. Why question? Why indeed? It's as simple as that. You just are there, you observe, you're nauseous. Oh, sure you know you're nauseous. We are nauseous. Sure we don't feel really well, but it sure feels like we are everything, and everything is us. It feels like you would call an epiphany of God. But it's even better, because you know it's just purely you. Being feedback looped into yourself in various kinds of ways while being high on psychedelics. That's the thing. You might think, oh, you're not, no, I am. Reckon. Trust me. I have the intense stare and concentration for that. I've taught it myself. I can even stare into my own eyes, looking at the camera like this. And no problem, totally dissolving into what the nothingness, but also, yeah, in my two eyes, it's a kind of, we would call a kind of mirrorverse that we have. A mirror reflection of what we perceive into ourselves. It's a deep reflection of what we see, what we hear, and everything interconnected in all kinds of deep, various levels, which are totally deeply intimate to us, which actually make us who we are. Truly how we are. So it's an audiovisual, recursive feedback loop. Hello, consciousness. So good. I think I saw myself a bit much too reflected in that God of yours, in my own visual reflection. I can even I don't have to look at the reflection. I can just look at just looking, and that is put into itself, and hearing my own voice also helps. So the pure visual input into itself already changes things dramatically for us. Whoa. You'd have to be on enough of a dosage to understand what I've been doing right now and how and why this works. And why this is something that I can only demonstrate like this while I'm this high. It's only 300 max. You think, oh, it's a lot. Yes, it's enough to have connection with everything you can connect to. But also enough knowledge for myself to understand, nah, we're just still us. Limited in consciousness, limited in understanding, limited in feeling, limited as a human being. But yes, we are we. We are, for instance, different than psych substance. Oh, decidedly different. In some ways, yes. In other ways, well, yeah, maybe not. We don't know. We don't know how bright we are or not. But we want to know. Hey, psych substance, do you want to know for sure? Because I want to know. I really want to know for sure. The hyper-intensity of that. Eat some of that. See? You can only do that while you're so damn high, but even then, you have to have had enough practice of being totally unified in one single purpose. Perfect. The perfect moment. It goes away, doesn't it? Then it's just a fleeting moment, and it's a perfect moment, and so many millions of trillions, all perfect, all ultra special, super unique. For I am Guru Usu. Oh, I'm Guru, ultra special, super unique. Yes, yes. You as you can be too. I mean, Guru Usu is the best invention ever. Guru ultra special, super unique, because everyone who wants to be so damn delightfully, deliciously cringe, go ahead. It only costs you yourself, your own sanity. If I'm totally insane, can I lose my insanity and become sane, but then become insane? How does that even work? Can I trip even harder? More intensely? To insanely tripstorm into insanely tripstorm? In the end, all you have left is intensity, perception of sensations. You only perceive sensations. That's what you have left. All of that, all those thoughts, perceptions of sensations, loop, 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 loop. And it's not just loops, it's interconnected, and that's the genius of it all. The essence of consciousness is interconnectedness with feedback loops. That's it. That's where you have your quantum consciousness, your minimum amount of consciousness there, right there. That's your qualia. All kinds of different qualia. Emotional qualia. Ooh, light phenomenon qualia. Oh, it has this intensity qualia. It feels like that qualia. I have emotions qualia. I feel alive qualia. I feel like something qualia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we chew. We chew on the perceptual loops, of the perceptual loops, of the interconnectedness, of the interconnectedness, of the perceptual loops, of the perceptual loops. That's, there's nothing deeper than that. It's just interconnectedness and loops with regards to consciousness. That's it. And it has inherent meaning. The inherent meaning is the loops and the interconnectedness. That's it. Just feed back into itself the right way. That's how our visual cortex works. That's why we see that's why we see the fractal patterns in whatever we see, and that is actually also that can give rise to different kinds of audiovisual programming, so to say, so to speak. Oh, I feel really well. But yeah, it's also a kind of programming that you can utilize. But yeah, I'm just looking ahead or in front of me. Not even, I'm also looking at the screen, but mostly looking outside, and well, this is a bit, no? Is my camera even working? Oh no, my camera is fucked. Come on. Up. Okay, properties. Okay, yeah, we've got some problems with the feed. There's always something with technology. Always. Always errors, always problems. That's okay. You've heard me. You've seen what I'm looking at that. Well, it's a grey damn good day. I just look at the clouds. I just see grayness and some slight fractal patterns emerging, which I describe as being intricate, like Mesoamerican, but also chaotic, also I would say really primitive, but really symbolic. But they don't really mean that much to me, because they are just beautiful symbols, other than having certain geometrical, triangular, and also square arrangements, and trying to finally understand how to translate these things from Dutch, German into English, and making it all make sense together, because I am not totally natively Dutch, or I don't even know. Yeah. But describing whatever I see is really difficult, because you see a grey overlaid with other subtle greys in all kinds of various patterns. It's difficult to really describe, because there's too much to witness, to see, ever changing. And also, my neck hurts. But yeah, I can even look at whatever I see. It doesn't matter. I can just see it as it is, and just inject it into my own consciousness as well, into my visual field itself. I can utilize the visual field in order to put it into my own visual field, but I can also somehow try to integrate it with what I hear for myself while looking at this, which does help integrate some parts of this trip experience as well. It's really intimate, but also it's really intimate. But it does have a certain kind of feeling to it. I'm finally getting hungry, which is a good thing, because if you're hungry, you're less likely to be nauseous, and I hate being nauseous. We really abhor the feeling of being nauseous. I really abhor deeply the feeling of nausea. I'm dysphoric to the feeling of nausea. Huh, weird. That's weird. Of course, but that I describe it like that. That I do not want to feel like that. I want to feel better. I want to feel a bit hungry, but also positive. Oh. What does one want to do with, well, yeah. That's when you see what you are, is that what you see. The essence of the trip, in my eyes, of any psychedelic trip, anyhow, has always been, you make the best journey, man, and you make the best journey yourself. And if you don't have anything worthwhile to tell, you gotta ask other people, because they might know more. But are we willing to acknowledge that we might be alone and need some help, instead of trying to be the big great sages? Yeah. Someone. It depends. The dependence on other people as a collective is a good thing, but looking at, for instance, all kinds of non-human intelligences, I don't believe in non-human intelligences. They would have to convince me first they are not human, somehow. Show me a kind of sign of true intelligence first, of true sentience, and actually intellectual capability. And having peace and love among each other. It is a good given for good working species. It's just barely the minimum. Yeah. We need more than just a bit of, oh yeah, look, using some psychedelics, and now we are one with the universe. Oh, God is talking to us. Now you've got no. Now it's time for us to be smart about things and work together. Better to say. I think a lot of people misunderstand what is the true purpose of psychedelics. If you would say, like I have said, that it's the mental self-description package. We perceive sensations, each thing is itself. Right question package? Yeah, that's a neat package. It's a way of formulating the scientific method in a different way. But you still keep asking the same questions. What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? How long is it? What kind of colors is it? What kind of frequency is it? What kind of temperature is it? How does it change over time? Etc. 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 It's basically a given that you have to record something if you're a bit conscious. But I'm dreaming now. It's so totally. I'm feeling my whatever I see is whatever I see and feel. It has inherent emotions, but it doesn't have to mean anything else. And just, oh yeah, I observe me observing myself, looped. Like this. See the infinity there? Into the screen? That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of loop that I'm talking about. That is part of what I would say is consciousness. I would think that this exactly here, maybe in a different way, might be considered a kind of consciousness, if it's looped correctly. Mm-hmm. Do we go get faster than before, or what is this even? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. Well, I definitely don't like this. Leave unchanged, please. Okay, that's my stomach growling. That's our stomachs growling. But yeah. So, how do you describe to people that whatever you see is whatever you see, but whatever you see is whatever you feel as well? You feel connected to whatever you see right as you look at it. You see that it has a certain kind of emotion attached to it. And you understand how this works. Oh, gee. That's what I mean. You have to be there to enjoy it. And other people who might be watching this might think, oh yeah, I'm feeling like that. Yes, precisely. Enjoy the damn visions. Because what you're seeing is what you're getting. Can we even... Can we... Oh, okay, yeah, I want to do something like that. Oh, I want to make it become even bigger. But how do we do that? Yeah, I think this is great because now I do have some more audiovisual new feedback, and you can see, yeah, I can see that. See? I can even change this, how big this is. Whoa. Oh my. Actually, this does have a lot. Oof. Totally forgot that this is actually not. Where do we want to go? We want to have the infinity train. So if I want to lost into the past. I love this. Actually, this is really great. It looks so damn cool. But yeah. I would say that I'm on something since I think 11:47 or something like that. Let's say 11:50 a.m. So that's at least half an hour added to that. I don't know. It's just that, yeah, 2.5 hours. But yeah, it's only that long. And I've been online now for about 30 minutes. Nearly 30 minutes, but yeah. Live from the trip, or what I would say. I mean, I can look at my. Oh, yeah, actually, I can describe myself in my own face looking like that. And actually trying to make one of my eyes be combined with the other overlap and getting a kind of. Why does this go off? Oh yeah, it's because of that. It's because I'm recording stuff here and yeah. I do have some biofeedback from my own hearing and my own visuals. But maybe this is a bit too much and I should just put it back to some. That's that part. Captures, yes, okay. Oh, yes. Please, defaults. I don't know what to do. Default setting, please. Okay, we have here. It's always I always fuck around with the properties, but this. Oh yeah. Where do I want to put it? And then there's a lot of things that you can do even with something like this. And you say okay, and then you have something like this, and you think, wait a minute, I've been doing a lot of stuff in order to get to look at myself in this kind of weird way. I can just look at my own eyes and overlap them in the middle and create a kind of eye of Horus, eye of Set imagery train going between the different halves. And that's really, really, so trippy. But it's the best trip. Once you see all the trips, it's the best. Definitely the best. Especially if you know how to trip into yourself like that. How do you know who you are when you can see yourself just as yourself? Is that actually the ultimate self-delusion or the ultimate delusion? How do you know that you're not self-deluded? You can't. But what are these words? What are words? They are vibrations. And, well, we can call them what we would call letters, but even letters, we speak something, we write something, we have certain phonetical and also we have imagery and sounds that have a certain meaning that we ascribe to them. See? So, you just describe things as they are. That you see yourself being reflected in yourself and being connected in yourself. And it's actually a good abbreviation of what's coming, and you overlap the two eyes. You either do, that's the way you can do it. You can overlap you can, I don't know whether this is a parallel or de scheelkijken manier. Boeit niet, het werkt. I'm seeing enlightenment, so to say. But it's just recursed visual stimuli. That's the only thing. And the thing is, you might say, oh, but you're using a mirror. No, I'm just using a screen. And the thing is, you can even do it. I don't even need the screen anymore. I can just do it like this, or like that. Open my eyes or close my eyes. And whatever I see is put into whatever I see. And that's it. And what you hear, how I see, what I see, that's me. Looked into itself over and over and over again. Cross-referenced, that's the cross communication, but also the feedback loops. And that makes consciousness. That's what it is. You just feed it back into itself all the time. You are one with what you see, because that's how it is. It just is. You just see and you just accept what comes into your own visual stimuli as it is. And then the magic happens. That's the damn magic. That's where the damn magic happens. I don't have to look at myself like that. We don't have to make such a fuss about who we are. We see right into our own souls. visually. We hear our own soul. You can hear our soul, our deep souls. Hear and see. This is who we are. Understand, this is who we are. Not who I am, but who we are. For we are a collective of these stimuli, interconnected. We know who we are. I hope that makes some stuff clear. We are a collective. We have already achieved our own unity, so to say. Long ago. Nothing new here. It's just me doing the same damn fuckaroo over and over again. And actually having fun with it. The only thing is that, I don't like throwing up. No, I don't like throwing up. No, but yeah, I do get nauseous. I'm not a young guy anymore. And it feels horrible. Fuck. At times it feels horrible to just be me. But we do accept ourselves as who we are, even with who we are, all of us. We have pride in ourselves. We are who we are, and we lay claim to us. It should be quite clear what I'm saying, why. And that is part of the mental self-description package for me. And we can say we perceive sensations. Each thing is itself. Why question? Oh, we are one with everything and everything is one with us? Yes, we perceive that kind of notion because, hey, our visual senses are part of us. I know there's a difference between me and them and us altogether. And us is what you would call God. But I know, we know, that there's this compacted cosmos, and beyond that there's the real world that we observe. But yeah, don't talk about that to the spiritualists. They would say, oh, come on, get out of here. You don't be so real about this. Come on, I want to imagine more. Use your imagination. Now let's get just real about it. The problem with a lot of people who are supposedly spiritual, is they just don't want to get real with things. They just don't want to get real when it really counts. It's always, oh, there's an excuse, oh, this and that, and oh, this. Always an excuse to duck something. It's how should I put it? It's a way of denying what is. I mean, literally, I know I'm an old guy. I see myself. course, I'm not fucking 80 years old or 1,000 years old, but I've been around. I know some stuff. The whole, we are the universe? That's, that's actually, it happens automatically. That's your actual normal neural feedback that you have. It should be easy peasy for people. Oh, I'm actually, my senses have a certain kind of rudimentary consciousness. Of course they have. How else would you be able to empathize with anything? How else could you imagine yourself in something if you wouldn't be able to experience it like that? The ensoulment of what you would say, what you see, is because it already has a rudimentary sentience/consciousness. We just do not accept that that is true for us, that we are the exceptions, that because we look at something, it's objective or it's totally subjective. No. It's more difficult like that. It's more difficult. It's more feedback looped and cross-referenced through the optical nerves. But yeah, hey, I haven't made up the rules, especially when it comes to experiencing a psychedelic trip. I mean, I'm about at the peak now. And I think I'm still making sense if I say that I feel what I see, because that is actually generated. It's a sentience that's generated by the. I have to get to the words. The visual cortex plus the two other parts that are actually responsible for that. At least I know that's how it works. And there are feedback loops that are actually more, I would say, of all kinds of algorithms, post-processing algorithms, which are also looped, interconnected, which do give rise to the patterns if you infuse them like that directly, which also gives for a different kind of audio-visual hallucinatory complex situation together experience. So multiphasic. Oh. This is what I mean. I mean, it's difficult to explain it, but you have to be there to experience it. But yeah, you do feel one with whatever you see, because it does have a sentience. It does have a consciousness of its own. It knows even what it is. It's connected to you as well and to each other. It's electrifying. It's such beautiful geometrical patterns that we see. Wow. I can even utilize my own visual field on what I see now. That's what I'm doing. My visual field, I get lost in interpreting it into itself. That's what's happening. That's the essence of what you would call a psychedelic trip, when that gets distorted somehow, even more than normal. and you have more more malleability with regards to the various depths of what you perceive, or with your auditory senses and your visual stimuli. But once you know that's what's happening to you and how it's connected, it's quite a sensation, so to say. It is exquisite, so to say, even. It is something that we are actually delighting in. Our own raspy but clear voice, and proclaiming ourselves as being who we are. We are the one who has made this possible. The mental self-description package. We perceive sensations. Each thing is itself. Why question? Why wouldn't you question? The observation, we perceive sensations, that's actually the core component. It does speak of the feedback loop, because you, once you say we perceive sensations, you affirm it to yourself, which is also a feedback loop into itself again, via so many ways. It just doesn't stop with the whole interconnectedness and the feedback loops, which is actually the core, this is what produces consciousness. Consciousness is this interconnectedness. This, you cannot take it apart anymore. It is a certain depth of what you feel, a certain feeling in what you see, in a certain feeling in what you hear. And it has logic to it. The tones, the colors, it all has logic to it. Feelings, emotions, it's all connected to each other. Perception of sensations is the currency. It's actually our lifeblood. We are that pulses like that. We are that subsides on the persistence of these sensations, looped into themselves, but also the neural force linking and the feedback loops, and the various ways that can be utilized as well. But that's why we love singing people. That's why certain songs sound so great, because these harmonies come because of certain frequencies that we hear. And there's a certain timbre which my voice has that other voices don't have. So I wouldn't be I don't know if I'm really the greatest of being a really bassy verse person. No, not really, but bit of medium 200-ish bass. Yeah, I can do that, but it would be too grumpy of me. I know I'm a grump with regards to perceiving sensations. I'm an older fart, so I know how to I know how to ego curl. Let me say it this way. I love saying it that way, because you'd have to be on psychedelics to understand what ego curling is and why it is like that. take me to your and bring me back. Take me to you and bring me back. Am I referencing anything? Shh. You didn't hear nothing from me. I said everything. So you have to listen to me really closely to everything that I say. It's all important. Yeah, making fun of yourself at these times, like, yeah, I know that I'm guru ultra ultra special, super unique. It's always ultra special, super unique. That's Guru Usu, USS U. It's so cringe. It's too cringe not to forget. It's so cringe, you must remember. Guru Usu, that's you and me, baby. Yeah, that's some hilarious fun, actually. But yeah. Do you know any people that actually just look at things precisely like this and say, yeah, that's how I see things, literally. And they shut up. I see. And so they shut up because they literally just see. And have their, not even that, just plain watching. You outside, just not even tripping, nothing, just watching there and being transfixed into a moment. That kind of transfixence is something that I've taught myself to do while, under any kind of circumstance, nearly. To know where I am, with regards to a certain point. Even if there's drift that I see. Oh yeah, that's a really, really great question to ask. Let's say I'm totally self-deluded. How do I know that I'm deluded? I ask more questions. That's how. Thing is that self-delusion is just you think that things are how they are. If you have a delusion, you are deluded in believing that something is different than it actually is. That's easy peasy. Like, someone smells me like this phone is $1 billion. No. This cap is worth more than your phone. Give me your phone. I go away. You have just a worthless chunk of a cap. But you think it's worth everything. That's how delusion works. Self-delusion is, oh, look at this cap. That looks like trash to me, but actually it isn't trash. It's the greatest treasure ever. And you just, it's like Dogecoin. You invent it, and then someone else believes in it because you invested so much in it. It's kind of a bullshit coin. It's bogus, but it only works because other people believe in it. And because of some algorithms, cryptographic algorithms. But yeah, anyone can make those. Anyone can make yourself some cryptographic algorithms, make a profit, whatever. So if someone comes to you, hey, look, I've got I found the best business ever. Yeah, then you know. It's most likely not a good deal. It's most likely bullshit. And someone deceiving themselves somehow, even. But that's what ultimately what we all do, somehow, in some way. I mean, if I see an evening, an afternoon sky, I see the afternoon sky as I see it. But my afternoon sky is not your afternoon sky. It might be morning or maybe deep in midnight. Maybe. It's also not the same time for you, but maybe one day later for you. And you see me here and ranting and raving around all kinds of dates and there. And you just think it's just a normal date. I don't care. But it's this specific date. Precisely. Each thing is itself. There are coordinates, specifications, all kinds of data that comes in via the senses somehow. So there's a difference between this and that over time even. You wouldn't be able to see or hear me if that wouldn't happen for you. It's how we are wired to decode audiovisual language, of course. That's how we communicate also to each other, of course. But this is whole self-referentialness in many ways and layers that you can see coming back. You see something and you try to analyze it, you have all kinds of words, but what are words again? They are sounds with meanings, just like light with meanings. And you can describe sounds like light and light like sounds. And you've taught yourself how to synthesize your senses from what you hear to what you see somehow. like you've become a kind of natural Fourier equation solver. Yes, that's what we are. We convert sound to light and light back, but also sound to frequency and back. That's how we are. That's how that's how our brains work. They decipher things into distances, into intensities. There's some really rudimentary algorithms going on, but I can say, I'm seeing a leaf, but in essence, it is me looking at a kind of a big screen with all kinds of colors, with all kinds of details plastered over it, and it won't stop coming in. That's how it is. I can even shut down my eyes, but because I'm on acid now, I see, I see sunlight. You can't see it, what I see, but I can see sunlight as well while I'm closing my eyes. I would say it's a kind of lighting, actually mental lighting. Oh. Oh. So it's up to me how I decorate this. Oh. Once you say, oh, yeah, I mean, with regards to what reality gives you, that's one thing. But, but there's also something that I just inherently perceive. But why do I perceive that? I don't understand, but it also sounds like something. It's not quiet. It's all. Of course, I still hear all the sounds, but it's so penetrating. Those who are on psychedelics will understand what I mean. Everything's so penetrating. Things can be so overwhelming. And you can be right there, but also quite far. You can zoom in like that. But what if you can do it willingly? What if you've taught yourself these tricks? What I've been showing you, to some extent, of course. I mean, I am a seasoned tripper, so... Two tabs of 1 PLSD. 2 times 150. Yeah. How cringe do I look? Not cringe enough. But we accept the cringeness. We are pure cringe. That's part of our fascination, but of our strength, being pure cringe. Once you've become cringe, it shouldn't be affect you more. I have become pure cringe, destroyer of all. The metaverse. Show me. I would say that's the ultimate trickster deity. Pure cringe. Do you see the how diabolical that actually is? How much you can think about that? Because can you be that evil, that devious and twisted that you being pure cringe? Yeah, people hate cringe. It makes sense, but how does it make sense? Like, why is this question also its own answer? Because I made it so. But then again, why would I? So many questions to be asked, to be answered, and pure cringe is also part of it. My advice, remember kids, do regularly hydratize, or else you won't be a good member of that legion, that fictional evil legion of a certain universe. We won't say any names. A universe where the boom, yeah, you know the one of that religion. But then the weak ass wimpy version, the real cringe-lord version of the cringe-lords. Even more cringe than how cringe could it be to be the ultimate cringe? What would be the ultimate cringe even? I think even asking that question is actually gone too far. Yeah. It's all just loops and loops again. Cringe as loops. Meta as loops. Loops, loops, loops. Loops, loops, loops. And cross connection. Interconnectedness and loops. That's how all infused with seeing, smelling, here. It's happening inside of the brain, and that makes a consciousness somehow. The biggest thing is its interconnectedness, feedback loops. And somewhere there must be a core sentience that can be born out of just a little bit of that. Of some neurons, some feedbacks, some cross-linking, small cross-linking, neuron activation, and that's where you get the rudimentary consciousness, because a perception of a sensation is consciousness. It must be somehow looped, feedback looped. It must be feedback looped, or else it wouldn't work like that. You wouldn't be able to feedback loop on yourself if you wouldn't be conscious. See? Because even then, but I'm looking at myself, I look at things and I have reactions, but those are reactions because blah, 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 blah. You see all the loops unfolding. I could even go to a website even. It's when I have one keyboard and I want to use another keyboard, but then I like to use the keyboard to the left because it feels more technological, but it isn't. It just feels like that. Yeah. Now this chart. Actually, this is not this, but how this level feels from the inside. This is the thing. Yes, nice. Let's save image as. Yeah, save image as. We go here. It is as it is. Yes. But anyhow, levels home math. We go to home math. No. No. I have it here. So now we go 1 to 1. So the thing is, what you're more interested in is these are the levels of what we would call thinking. To some extent, I actually agree with this. The developmental levels, I think that's some bullshit. Spiral dynamics, it's all, in my eyes, it's all a whole or a lot of hocus cocus. How does it feel from the inside is more important. How do I, for instance, level 1, I see, feel, smell, and hear through my senses. Yeah. Feel reactions, I want to get things, so survive. Okay. Easy. Connect. I know that other people and animals have also senses. Yeah. Sometimes I make the mistake of experiencing feeling in myself, but perceiving that it's coming from someone or something else, like a person, an animal, or even a tree, or an unseen spirit. Connect. Symbolic. I live in a world full of different people, with each with their own agenda. They all hold, we all have our lives. I don't care. Lives, I already know that. When you think about it, what's good or bad, yeah, I understand that. Good and bad, it depends on ways, blah, 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 blah. We go to even more relativism. Everyone's unique and there should be, yeah, but how do you know who's actually true? Because there are certain people who will not follow your rules. Yeah, I'm already on 6. That's easy. I think 6 is actually a big problem, a big hurdle for too many people. They just see, but how can I choose? What can be correct? Well, nothing can be correct. Bullshit. Of course something can be correct. Do you still hear something? Do you see, is there still gravity? Yes. Things still, but it's all relative. Nope. We still perceive certain things. Yes, we have a different understanding, but still. Then you go to harmonize the first reversal level, where you start, instead of going more spiritual, actually going more spiritual. You have two divergences here. You have one way, what I would call the false spirituality, and another way of the true spirituality. And you will find out, and you will see why I call them like that. True spirituality acknowledges there must be one truth. At least there are true things and there are false things. There are things that we can't know. There are certain axiomatic truths that we have to accept in order to go forward. So that's the harmonize and sanctify part. That's what I'm actually trying to explain to you now. But the whole understanding and seeing it all and describing it all, yeah, it's so difficult. It has all these loops, interconnectedness between all kinds of various things that you can't see and have perceived in so many ways by reading, looking back in your own mind into the minds of other people, etc., etc., etc. You can use certain short mathematical shortcuts. You've been taught them. You know how to utilize matrix vector calculations. You know about real numbers, negative numbers, complex imaginary numbers, complex numbers, quaternion numbers, vector calculus. You know about a lot of simple, basic mathematical concepts, even with regards to infinities, countable and innumerable infinities, and that I'm not totally aware where some of my I have some conjecture knowledge, where I conjecture that I have certain knowledge, or that I have actual knowledge of certain things. But in essence, you can, at level 9, you see things as they are, and everything else you can just imagine. And that's all you actually really ever need, to slowly but surely imagine it out and interact with other people. Because, that's the actual inverse, the actual spirituality, where you understand that one is a limited, boundless yet limited consciousness, multiplex of consciousnesses, connected to maybe a lot of extent vastly unexplored worlds that we don't know yet anything of, but we say we do. That's when growth happens, when you have a growth mindset. You go back to survive. Survival is actually the purest. It's looped. The thing is, it's all looped and interconnected, eventually. True spirituality will loop and interconnect. It doesn't have to have a certain kind of God, because we are enough. Mental self-description package. We perceive sensations. Each thing is itself. Why question? Because you would want to know. You can only know once you've gone through it, once you've seen it all from your own eyes, all the different modes of this. Yeah, I agree with becoming complete even. It is something that actually is really coherent. The essence is you get completed because you connect deeply to yourself again. That's the true spirituality. You get connected to yourself again. You see whatever it is that you see is the source of your consciousness. Seeing is being. Seeing is consciousness itself. My visual field itself is already conscious and the start of the consciousness. My auditory field is already consciousness. We are the consciousness. That's what we mean with we. We perceive sensations. We know. We see. We feel. And once you feel and see and hear, there's nothing more than that. You understand that there's an actual world out there that you cannot directly interact with, only with your senses. And the rest is, Yeah, maybe there's a God, maybe not. We don't know. But what it feels from the inside, yes, once you finally achieve the greatest mysteries, is just yourself. What you see is what you get. What you see is consciousness. What you hear is consciousness. What you feel is consciousness. What I sense is consciousness. My senses, my perception is the consciousness looped into itself. That's how it feels from inside. We are truly looped intrinsically to ourselves. That is true spirituality. The other one is pretending that you know, to be accessing something else, but you don't know what. If it is yourself or something else, you don't know. And it will always result in people disappointing themselves or others or maybe the gods. How do you know that you're doing the right thing? How do you know? You always go back to the number 6 again. You keep lost in the harmonize and the understand. That's the break point. That's the biggest break point for human societies. Actually, going above, you have to, even beyond sanctification, once you see the completeness, you see no need for even more. You don't see the need for a God. If things are, they are as they are. You can only hope to change things. It's survive plus. Yeah. Number 9 is actually you come into union with yourself and you spread that in a positive way. The other way is, mass self-delusion. You spread the confusion of your own self-delusion. That's the problem. Because if you don't know, who does know? Someone will say, oh, but I know. How do they know? Oh, because they have seen something. What have they seen? They've seen God. How do they know? Because of some magical words, magical nonsense that you believe to be true, to be the gospel. So they say that whatever you see is not what you see. They teach you to deny what you see in order to deceive yourself, in order to serve them better. That's what they do. That's the core of deception and self-deception. If you can deceive yourself, the better you are in deceiving others as well. And know it from a seasoned self-deceiver. I've been in some really deep delusions. Yes, you can get lost in levels 6, 7, and 8, trying to go to 9. I understand why it's ironist unit. Because it's fucking ironic. Once you see it, it's so simple. It's just the repeated pattern all the time. That's the perception of sensations. That's it. Indeed, mental self-decryption package. We perceive sensations. Each thing is itself. Why question? Because you want to know. What do you want to know? How things really are. That's why. There's always more questions to be asked, more things to be seen, because you have life in you, a consciousness, and it burns deep inside. It's a primordial, it's a kind of primordial fire. We are primordial fires in some way or sort. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. How real is real? How do you know what real is? Again, there you go with the number 6 and the number 7. The thing is that if things are not real, if there's no such thing as a real, you couldn't know that there wouldn't be such a thing. How do you question what is real if real does not exist? People who question what is real are stupid. Oh, they're unbelievably, actually, yes, they're so unbelievably stupid because they can just see. What is real? Yeah, we perceive sensations, that's real. Whatever you feel, that is actually real. Me completely validating whatever people feel on the trip, not the interpretation. No. What they feel on the trip, not what they interpret on that trip. That's a damn fucking irony. I'm still as sharp as that, or not. That I know the difference between what I observe versus what I interpret. And there are already certain underlying interpretations and assumptions even going on of what I see. It's, how the information goes into the visual cortex and is processed. And somehow, with the cross-linking and feedback loops to regulate everything, you get rudimentary visual such as stimuli, sentience. Our mind, our visual field is rife with sentience. Understand that. That's what we are trying to tell you. What you see is part of you. It is sentient. We are sentient. We know what we are. We feel what we are. That's why we say that like that. We feel one. Oh, so that means that I've actually mastered shamanism as well. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Because if we are who we are, then we are who we are. Then I'm master shaman for myself? I think so. Yeah. Can I lead others? Is that compatible enough with me? Yes. Otherwise, it's too cringe. But I love to cringe. I'm the one who enjoys to cringe so much that the real cringe thoughts are even objected by me. The pile of horrible. Yeah. What a pile of horrible. Precisely. Yes. But see here, that's how in tune we are with our own senses. That we see the patterns, that we feel the patterns. The patterns, what we see is part of who we are. It is part of, it is conscious. Our visual matrix, our visual field, our visual cortex and the associated areas are a kind of consciousness field matrix, a kind of overlapping 2D spheres and space and time. I don't know how it works, but there's a lot of algorithms, a lot of decoding, encoding, a lot of networking going on. I don't know how the magic works, but somehow it's looped, it's cross-linked, whatever. And it works. It produces this wonderful magic of visual consciousness, which even is conscious of itself. Oh, that's actually pleasurable. That's why it's so pleasurable, because we love being us. Ah, that's why it's such a blissful feeling. Oh. It's what I would say uniquely to us, uniquely who we are. Whoa. Knowing full well that I'm able to do this willingly on my own, for myself, connecting different parts of me. And it can be done because they are already connected to each other in different ways. It's only a different kind of modulation. Yes. Yeah, but wouldn't you say that exists, that consciousness is intrinsically psychedelic? Yes, of course. Come on, why wouldn't it be totally full of meaning and looped into itself with a regulatory feedback loop? That's how you get a tiny bit of thinking. But understand what you see has a consciousness, a sentience of its own. It knows what it is. It knows that it's not the eye itself, but it does extend to the optical nerve into, wow, having that kind of, hopefully, more fuller control. That's what I would say is actual real shamanism, not just but actually trying to control it in certain ways that didn't seem possible before. Being more precise with what you want to know and why. Wanting to understand. Why does it look green? Well, because of the green impression, but why does it change? Yeah, it changes the visual field because of the psychedelic substance that I took. But why does it change like that, in that way? it's like I've looped the question into itself, and the result is actually also fascinating. Just like I'm looking at reality itself. But yeah, if your visual, if whatever you see has you feel a certain kind of sentience. Is it because everything else has that sentience, or is it because you just, that's how your brain is wired? That everything what you perceive has a minimum amount of sentience encoded to it. What if that's the thing? Cross connections? Feedback loops? That's the supposed neuron activation. That's your thought, your meaning, your feeling in. Little bit there. Oh, what a nice flat. Oh, actually, this is actually. Maybe you've got to try this. Concentrating like that, and then just. Oh. Wow, actually, this is impressive. Yeah, it actually does help a lot. Wow. Oh, of course, it's different now, but this is what I mean. It's ultra stimulating, so to say, for the visual field, and you feel the stimuli. I would even say that anyone who's actually able to concentrate on anything and just should be able to have a visual concentration and feel what they see somehow. That's, if you feel something with what you see, somehow, something, if there's a bit of feeling of emotion, that's part of sentience. The intensity, the feeling, how it feels, how your visual field feels. It's own intrinsic consciousness, rudimentary sentience. And you ought to acknowledge it as such. Otherwise it will lead you astray. What if it doesn't understand what it is? What if it thinks it's God? What if your visual cortex thinks it's God? How would you know? If you don't know and you are totally self-delusional, you would believe anything you would want to believe, because you want to believe it. See what I'm doing there? Self-delusion? If you, it depends on how you imply it. If you know that you're deluded, you can unwork yourself out of it as self-delusion. But if you're not cognizant, you're saying, oh, I'm not self-deluded, I couldn't very well be, then there's a good chance you are self-deluded. Let's switch to, why is there, yeah, I'm looking at the screensaver settings here. No. I don't really hear, actually I do hear echoes in time, like I hear something from the rain and it's echoey, musty. Actually thirsty. Damn, I'm thirsty. Well, yes, it has been for, yeah. 4 hours ago. Phew. Nah, just wanna keep on going with this, because if you know, you know, but if you don't know, you don't know. Huh. So, knowing that you can be deluded into believing that a certain thing is different than it actually is, I could tell you this is an important item that I need in order to gain, to exchange for the princess. It ain't so, but if I convince you of that, and you go do the quest, I say, hey, I have a quest there. You want this item, which unlocks the princess from the castle. This key, this key of ultimate unlocking. And you are totally invested in it, and I've even shown you some that it actually does work on one lock. And then the thing is, the damn key only works on that lock. I said, oh, it's a master key, it can do anything, it's the best key ever. But if I convince you enough, and then you buy that for me for $1 billion, it is worth to you $1 billion. I think bullshit, but I do have your money now. You only have this and a hope of dreams and nothing left, and a whole lot of debt. That's how delusions work. You think that something was something like that, but it ain't, because otherwise it would have been that. And self-delusions work like that, but then you do it to yourself. Like, I'm the invincible, super, whatever, the ultra super cringe lord, with the ultimate powers. The ultimate toony cringe lord with the ultimate powers. But can even destroy all the evil. With ultimate evil. Destroy all the evil with ultimate evil. That's how self-deception works. You believe something because you believe in it. Once you know how that works, and you've mastered that, smashing that, all the time over and over again. Oh, reconstitute it. Oh, yeah, now I know it. Oh, I've self-deluded myself again. See what I'm doing? See now why I'm saying that I'm actually at level 9, even maybe more at the levels. There's nothing else there. It's just you and whatever you observe. But it's only you and whatever you observe. And whatever you observe is a representation somehow of the ultimate reality. The senses are not lying to you. That's the thing. That's why you have the whole stuff. It makes a consciousness, but it also makes a feedback loop. The feedback loops make for the consciousness and the interconnectedness. That's why it is like that. That's why we have the whole neuronal view, how we hear. Everyone, all of us have that. But we make it so spastic and elastic because, if we trip, we really feel, no, you feel interconnected with you as an animal. That's it. That's shamanism. That's tripping. You become just base animal again. And if you don't understand that dancing around on the rhythm beat is this whole, it's also a feedback loop mechanism. That's how societies actually function. It's all feedback loops. It's feedback loops into feedback loops, and we are just, if we are a good little civilization here, we feedback loop as well, in the right way, and not in a totally destructive way like we do now. And that's, yeah, that's. Oh, I've only talked about seeing, hearing, about hearing, seeing, believing, about words. Oh, thoughts are also words. Spoken, heard, seen, images, feelings, emotions. It's, if someone tells me, oh yeah, but have you thought? Yeah, I've thought. I'm doing a lot of thinking right now. I'm doing a lot of visual processing, which is also kind of visual thinking as well, technically speaking. I've auditory hearing, thinking, going on, the processing of all the sound, plus interpreting words, sentences. Being aware of all of that, knowing that, understanding that, being in tune with yourself, it's so damn very easy, actually. Yeah, you're in tune with yourself. That's welcome to what you would call 101 psychedelics. This is. I haven't experienced anything else than this. Than just me. Just me being self-referenced. I've interacted with other people as well, but still. Trip or not, the only way you might be able to understand that someone else is actually there is because you see someone else there. You see a person there. If I close my eyes, I can imagine anything that I really want to. Maybe big house, a luxury hotel, or whatever. I can even have a planet itself, or just reality itself. But that's when my imagination, or when the visual feedback loops take over. That doesn't have anything to do with actual reality, as I observe it. Which a lot of people will try to tell you that's bogus. No. What's bogus is what they're telling you, because they're trying to convince you that you and everything else is bogus. I'm telling you, seeing is believing. Maiden is maiden. Measuring is knowing. How do I know? I see it, I hear it, I feel it, I taste it. It does taste really well. And now is it? Oh, I'm God. Of course I am. That's why I'm interconnected with the. I feel interconnected with the horizon. It's totally. Oh, in there it is. That's where that horizon is. What we experience. That's the horizon that we experience right now. That's where it is. Somewhere here, going around, swishing around. But you could be able to understand that. No, it is like that. As far as I see it. As far as I have been able to pertain it. And everything else, yeah, again, could there be a God? Maybe not. How do you know? How would you know? You can't know for sure. The only thing that you know for sure is that you see what you see, that you hear what you hear, that you think what you think, and even there, There are people who say, oh, you can't even trust yourselves. Oh, why not? The Cartesian doubt is actually really a grand innovation with regards to thinking. I think, therefore, I am. You can... Now, that's a really, really great one, because it doubts you. How do I know? But I think, therefore I am. But how do I know that I am if I cannot think? If I'm not real, then I cannot think. But if I am real, I can think. So you get out of there. But the thing is, you can refine it a bit and more directly. I see, I hear, I feel, I have an emotion. We perceive sensations. It's a really broad general sense term. Perceive sensations. I see whatever I see. And you might say, oh, but what then? Well, each and everything of everything and each. Each thing is itself. There's a difference between the different pixels. Some pixels have a similar color, maybe the same color. Don't know. I perceive it as a sensation. But they are different. I cannot totally describe it, but they are different. We perceive sensations. Each thing is itself. Why question? That's how we get to know more, don't we? Having more questions means more to work with. And if you think, oh, the volume, that's up to you. If you want to hear this really, really, really silently, well, there's a damn fucking trance tornado going outside around you. Whatever. That's up to you. That's stupid. But you wouldn't be able to understand me. Yeah. But I'm recording this for posterity. I think this is the one that I will have to publish. On the Metanekoic channel, of course. Well, hello people. It's Metanekoic here. We have some mental self-description packs. Now you think, what the hell is that mental self-description package part even? Well, mental, mind, that's we, us, me, I, we, I, whatever you prefer. No nouns, huh? We perceive sensations. We, God, the supreme ruler of everything, the ultra cringe lord. But yeah, I've mastered the acceptance of ultimate self-delusion, so to say. But yeah, what is mental? Mental me, we, I. Whatever your pronoun, non-noun is, doesn't matter. Self. Okay, that's regards to me. Decryption. What is a decryption? It's a method in order to decrypt something, maybe a message. To try to understand something more precisely and more clearly than before. To decode it. To code it from one to the other. Package. That's a package, so it's mental, the consciousness, we, I, self. Yeah, of course. No, mental, as in the mental, self, I, decryption. self-understanding, mental self-understanding, self-translation, translating from one to the other, package. One package that you need. And it's part of it itself. The mental self-decryption package is part of itself already. It describes that it is necessary in order to describe itself. It is self-referential in, I would say, unique, but also silly way. You technically do not need it, but it does give meaning. It gives the emotional logic to it all. I think without the mental self-decryption package, you are just, even as an animal, you would be able to be told, oh God, you're an abject failure of something. You don't even perceive anything. You're just a data automaton. You could better be a vegetable somewhere out there. The mental self-decryption package, the whole interloopedness, the self-regulatory part, this is actually it is. The self-explanatory part is the reason why it's necessary. You cannot decrypt yourself without decrypting yourself. You cannot unlock yourself without unlocking yourself. You need yourself in order to unlock yourself. But that's a genius. How do you know that you have the key to unlock yourself? Well, you have you, so you must be the key to you. Because you already have access to yourself. Now, don't you? How do you get more access to yourself? Do you want more access to yourself? You could say, well, maybe a bit. Why don't you say, yes! And feel it. Feel the want. Feel the need. Embrace that you are an animal, that you are a great ape of the species Homo sapiens sapiens. And if you're male, you are male. You're a female, you are female, and acknowledge it as such. Don't be shy. Acknowledge who you are, what you are even. Because while I see myself as a male human being, essentially, when it comes to it, we have become much more of a universal vessel than we would held possible for. But it's a unique interaction between the programming and also the biology itself that lends it for a kind of a decryption of an analysis of reality in a different way. In a way where you say, maybe he is actually onto something there. Maybe self-delusion is both the problem and the cure itself. What if self-delusion, because it's so self-referential, because it has this feedback loop, and you can cross-reference it to other people, you can feedback loop via other people as well. You can feedback loop it like that as well. Even in a cringe loop. Ultimate cringe not uber loop. Even there, you always have this feedback. Even for yourself, you always have the feedback like, oh, the ultimate greatest, so cringe. If you feel like shit, you will see yourself like shit. No, this depends. If you can feel like shit, but don't look at yourself like shit. I mean, I can't help it that I feel nauseous, but I can feel proud of myself. That I am who I am, that I am here, that I can explain things quite clearly, even though I'm, yeah. As credentials, I won't boast with them. I mean, you can figure them out. I'm not going to boast about those. Because, in academic terms, I'm just a midweight. Even on the scale of what you would call philosophers, you might think, oh, he's some bull-cocked. But my advice is still, look into that self-delusion. It is both the answer and it is the toxin, but it's also the answer to the toxin. But you have to make fun of yourself, otherwise it won't work. You have to be able to make fun of yourself. If someone says you're the devil, you say, yeah, and now I'm the ultimate evil. So what happens if you destroy the ultimate evil? Yeah, and then? Oh. Yeah, well, what do you do then, Mr. Hero? Once I'm dead, what are you going to do now? Live a long life together with my dear wife, but did you sacrifice your wife along the way? Oh, really? Oh, yeah. How come? Because you told me so. No, I didn't. Was it? That's a damn subtle art of self-delusion. You don't know if you don't know who's deluding you. How do you know who's deluding you? So accepting that you're always self-deluded or in a delusional state is the safest bet, then, isn't it? See my logic? If I'm self-deluded, isn't the best thing to just shortcut the bullshit fucking process of trying to figure out whether I'm deluded or not by just assuming I am deluded? I am hopelessly deluded and self-deluded even? Oh, okay. So if I'm deluded and self-deluded even, doesn't that mean that I can change how deluded I am and how self-deluded I am? Could there be a kind of way of changing how I view myself? And you see, you figure out, yes, there is. Yeah, philosophy is changing your mind. You've changed your mind about, I was self-deluded, but now I've learned I am not self-deluded anymore in that way, but I might be in other ways. I still assume I'm still hopelessly self-deluded. But you have then one nugget of wisdom, one nugget of truth. We perceive sensations, each thing is itself. My question, but also, I'm hopelessly self-deluded. If everything is delusion, then I must even be, maybe I'm part of the delusion. You wouldn't know. That's the thing. Once you figure that out, that you might be the whole illusion itself in how you view yourself. You figure out, I have to be self-deluded. I must delude myself somehow, or else I would not be able to see anything somehow. Because reality is different from who I am, because I am changing according to whatever I see, but I'm evolving, everything changes, and it's a repetitive learning process, of course, until we die. But you think it's forever, but then you find out, oh no, it isn't, and then you think, oh, it is, and then no, and you see also another cyclical pattern there. Also like feedback loops again. and interconnectedness. See what I'm saying? With regards to consciousness, it's all interconnectedness and feedback loops, down to the very core of perception itself. That's the core of perception. I think the core of consciousness, or to say sentience, is that the interconnectedness between the different experiences and that are self-regulated somehow in a feedback loop. This is what ultimately gives us a sensation, and also why we sense a sensation, because it's looped into itself. It's a feedback loop itself which is the thing. We are the feedback loops, the interconnected feedback loops. That's our visual cortex. That's even how I speak. I utilize my voice, and it vibrates, etc. It makes sounds in a way that I like to utilize. I can even I can go from bass note to one octave higher, and other notes as well. So I'm able to do that because I hear the frequencies, I understand the frequencies because of what happens in my, what you would call brain. If there must be something real. Again, someone must be self-deluded to the core. It must be me, isn't it? If I know anything, that I know that I'm the crazy one. It's the people who say, I'm not the crazy one, who are not only really dangerous, but who are totally even further beyond any redemption of getting any help. It's the really exceptionally smart and clever ones who will tell you, yeah, I'm totally deluded. I know, I'm self-deluded. And that's the way how we figure things out, because otherwise there's no other way. We have to be self-deluded. Anyhow. How you... I am not my current future self. Who I am in the past is not the one who will be in a minute. Who I am now is not the me in a minute. It changes, even positions, even. But how do you know? Yeah, each thing is itself. Because if it wouldn't be, it would be something else, or it wouldn't exist. Everyone knows that. But how do you know? We perceive sensations. I hear something, I feel something, and I can think, I can process all the stimuli and order them in some ways. And some of those orders you call visual thoughts, auditory thoughts, and some thoughts. They're still thoughts. There are still sensations, the perception of a sensation, but we don't say it like that because it's difficult to define what it is actually. If it's not really a motion or it is still a feeling, but you don't know what to ascribe it to. An intuition, instinct, or something else even. And you don't know. Hustle? Maybe. Yeah. Just have to say, I see something, I hear something, I feel something, and that's it. I can express myself in, well, sounds, actually. Most of the things what you're hearing now is my sounds. Sounds that I make, sounds that are, well, repetitions of tones. Yeah, that's annoying. It shouldn't be like that, but yeah, that's because I still have to do the performances. But yeah. So what did I want to do even? Nope, not what I wanted to do. Yeah, but actually I'm really enjoying myself doing this. Actually, I'm still here. I'm still actually actively here. Yeah, I tune with what I feel. But I think I'm going to just a short, break even. Just a short break. But